Ever wonder what it's like to ride the daily cognitive roller coaster of Lewy Body Dementia? Some days I feel like I'm thinking through mud. Other days I surprise myself with clarity I didn't expect. Living with LBD isn't just about decline, it's about unpredictability. Let's talk about how I ride the highs and survive the lows. So, what the roller coaster looks like for me. The other day, for example, I woke up, I was feeling pretty good, which is kind of unusual for me sometimes because mornings are hard for me. The fog takes a little while to lift in the mornings. But this morning, I woke up, I was feeling very clear. I was ready to greet the day and kind of tackle things. I felt good. So I got myself dressed, I got myself going. I decided that I was going to help my wife and weed whack outside. I can do that from my wheelchair. It's a process, but I can do it. So I went outside, I got outside, and all of a sudden, I didn't know why I was there. My mind it's like it stalled. So I'm just sitting there, and Michelle comes out. She says, well, what are you doing? And I said, I don't know. What am I supposed to be doing? And she said, well, you're supposed to be weed whacking. And I didn't understand what it was I was supposed to be doing. I didn't understand what weed whacking was. It was just all a fog. I ended up coming back inside and actually laying down. And the rest of the day was in and out of that foggy state where it just feels like there is a wet blanket of fog and confusion that just kind of settles over my brain and makes it very difficult for me to find words to articulate what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling, which can be very frustrating. So it's not just bad brain days. It could be a good day, starting out as a good day, and then it turns into a bad brain day. Or conversely, it could be a bad brain day to start with, and things get better. And this can fluctuate even during the day. So I can go from foggy to clear to foggy to clear. It is that roller coaster, just up and down. And that's why it's so hard, because routines don't always work. What worked yesterday might flop today. A routine that really worked well for me, getting up, having my breakfast, doing my exercises, doing a little bit of work on something, taking a nap in the afternoon, then maybe puttering a little bit in the afternoon, and then kind of winding down for the evening. Most days that routine works pretty well for me. But then there are other days when that routine's a complete flop. I can't get out of bed in the morning. I'm simply exhausted from whatever I did the day before. For example, we had company the other day, which was great. I love to have people come. It was all my family, so I love to see them because I don't get to see them very often because they all live away. So that, I had a couple of my family members come, and so the house was busy, and, there was a lot of talking and conversations, and then I tried to participate and carry on as well as I could. By the end of that day, I was absolutely toast. My brain had shut down. I was exhausted. The next day, I think I was in bed by 7 o'clock that night. I never woke up the next day until 7:30 in the morning, and then I never got out of bed until 10 o'clock. I just could not function. So that's a reality. So if we had had something planned specifically for that following day, it would not have happened. And my wife is very good about knowing that. And she knows that, okay, this is not going to happen today. But it's exhausting to have to constantly adjust your schedules, your routines, what your expectations are, what you're going to do, what you're not going to do. It's very hard. It's hard on me. It's hard on the people around me, my daughters, my wife, Michelle, other caregivers, the other caregivers that we have who provide help and support for friends. It's a challenge. It really is. And there's a lot of emotional whiplash that comes with this diagnosis and with, I think, any kind of form of dementia. You have this emotional whiplash where you're feeling confident and happy one minute, and then all of a sudden you can't do what you know you could do a year ago, 5 years ago, 5 minutes ago. And that frustration of being, right on it 1 minute, and then 5 minutes later, you're not able to do what you were just doing because it's gone. It's just gone. The knowledge, the ability to concentrate, the ability to focus, it just disappears. And for somebody who doesn't live with that, it can be very frustrating to watch that. And it's very difficult for the people around to understand it. They may understand intellectually and even have compassion for and love you, but they don't know what it's like. They have an idea because they see what you're going through, but they don't truly understand it, and that's frustrating. Because, I often feel like, well, you could do this yesterday. Why can't you do it today? Or you understood this a few minutes ago. Why don't you understand it now? I told you about this yesterday. And, I ask a lot of questions, like, what's going on? What's happening today? Well, I told you this and this and this. I don't remember. My short-term memory, my working memory is very, very poor. So I do have a hard time with that, and that's frustrating for people, and I understand that's frustrating for me. So I try to give people a lot of grace. And I hope that they give me the same amount of grace in trying to deal with all of these issues. Some of how I cope with all of this, I build flexible routines with buffers. So, like I put in, I try to do some things every day, like whether it's my hour of prayer in the morning, and then I usually try to do that even before I get out of bed, because I'm able to focus and be comfortable without having to think about what I'm going to do with my body, where I have to be, and what I have to do. So those kinds of things I try to keep pretty consistent. The rest of it is really very flexible. I try to build in time for projects like this, or writing in my blog. Most of it is really trying to spend time with my family, especially my grandson. And then there are certain things that, I really try to hit. I have a men's support group that I try to hit every Monday afternoon. And I try to marshal my energy, take a good nap beforehand, that kind of thing, so that I'm prepared for that. Or 1 day a week, I have physical and speech therapy. So, everything kind of revolves around that. So those things are pretty set in stone, but the rest of it, I try to keep pretty flexible based on what it is I can do and what I can't do. And that has helped me cope. Journaling has really helped me kind of track when things are going well, when things aren't. I have a much better idea, and so does Michelle, about when I'm going to hit the wall. If I'm doing certain things, like the day that I had all the family come, that's going to be a wall buster for me. And then I'm going to have to take a break. And I talk to people around me when I need help or support as best I can. I've always been very independent. I take care of myself. I don't want to be a burden. I still don't want to be a burden. So I don't always tell Michelle what I'm feeling and how I'm doing. And sometimes she doesn't pick up on that because she's busy. She's kind of taken on all the roles in the house and in the family. So that means that she is very, very busy and she's very focused on what she has to do. And when I can't talk, I rest. And sometimes I will even just withdraw from whatever situation I'm in. I'll come into this back room here and I'll just take some quiet time to just let my brain relax and just have it be quiet, because that's the biggest thing for me is quiet. When things get too hectic, I need things to just slow down and quiet down, and then I can oftentimes come back. Adaptability is more valuable than productivity. I don't feel like I am all that productive anymore. There are certain things that I'm really focused on now, but adaptability is really the main key for me. I have to be adaptable to everything that I do. Michelle has to be adaptable to whatever I'm going through in a particular day or during a particular time period. The good moments are gifts. They are wonderful. When the family is here, when I get to spend time with my grandson and my daughters and Michelle, we're very close and there's a lot of love, and that helps so much. And those moments are gifts, and I try to hang on to those because I know that they're not always going to be there as this neurodegenerative disease progresses. But I want to hang on to them now, and I do consider them gifts. And something else I've learned is that self-compassion is not optional. It is survival. I need to have compassion for myself, which I'm not always very good at, but I do try. And I think that for those of us living with this, self-compassion is so vitally important. We need to be able to give ourselves a break. We need to say it's okay for us to be able to do what we need to do to take care of ourselves. It is absolutely necessary, and something I'm still working on, because it's hard to be forgiving of oneself when you're used to being the person who is the fixer. You are the person who everyone looked to fix things and to make things right and to handle whatever situation came along, whether it was in work or whether it was at home. And now I'm no longer the fixer. I am the fixee. I am the person who needs fixing. I'm the person who needs the support. It's hard to reverse those roles, but I'm getting better at it. And I think sometimes that those of us who live with dementia and LBD, maybe even more specifically, that's very hard to do because we're not always in control. When Lewy takes over, we're not really in control of sometimes what we say, how we feel, what we think, And so it's hard then to be self-compassionate when you find out later, perhaps, or when when you realize what you said or done that may have been hurtful. So that's a difficulty. But again, I think that that's a topic for another video, maybe. So if this resonates with you, whether you're living with Lewy body dementia or some other form of dementia, whether you're a caregiver, care partner, you're taking care of someone with dementia, and any of this resonates with you, drop a comment below. Share one thing that helps you ride this roller coaster. And if this helped you feel less alone, please do all the YouTube things. Hit that like and subscribe button so it can reach someone that it may help. And I would really appreciate it, because I'm trying to grow this so that I can try to help people. It is my mission to try to reach out and to advocate for those of us who are living with dementia and erase some of the stigma around it. And so the more you hit the subscribe button and the like button, the more people we may reach. We're all riding this roller coaster together, one day and one moment at a time. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your care partner. Until next time, hang in there.